Good morning, y'all, and we are back, strapped in and all. Whew. It is always about making the best juice and the most juice out of your time. So as we drive to work, we actually use this time to make content. Gotta go to work, I gotta make content. We're gonna combine the two. Also, right now it is like 7 a.m., which isn't early. But normally around this time I'm up, but I'm usually working on my channel. I'm usually either editing, prepping something to come out or whatever. But today, y'all, we had to go ahead and wake up. Don't pick up my cell phone. Don't open up my laptop and just start getting ready to go to work. In this video, we are going to talk about the money moves we made because that's so important to us this year, y'all. We are making money moves. We are trying to make money moves every single week, at least one money move a week, y'all. So I come up here weekly and share with y'all my money moves. Also, if I've made any progress on my overall goals that I'm trying to accomplish for the 2022. Okay, let's talk about them. This week we have 7 money moves we're going to talk about, and this week ran from January 24th through January 30th. Okay, let's talk about it. Money move number 1, I paid back my savings. I paid back myself. I didn't give myself a loan. I gave myself $200, right, of cash to go to Mexico. Now, the thing is to pull that money and to get it in the small bills that I needed to go to my primary bank account. My primary savings account. I have 2 savings accounts, guys. I have one which is my long-term savings account. I do not have a debit card for that savings account, so I have no easy access to that account. If I need anything out of that account, I actually have to go to the bank, take time out of my already cram-packed schedule, and go to the bank to actually pull money. And that is my long-term savings account, which I want to move. That ain't on nobody's goal list, but it should be, because this savings account really pays me peanuts in interest. So because there's a larger chunk of money in that account, I would like to move it somewhere that gives us at least a little bit more money in interest. So I went there and I pulled $200 in 1s and 5s and a few 10s to go to Mexico so I can do tipping. That's mainly tip money. And the money move is I actually did pay myself back because I knew I needed to move money from my checking account at another bank to back to that savings account. So I actually accomplished that because I think it's important to pay. If you give yourself a loan, actually honor that loan and pay yourself back, because you are a big deal and you should honor your obligations. And if you don't, you should charge yourself interest and penalties. So that's money move number 1. Money move number 2, though, let's talk about this part right here. I'm an avid traveler. A lot of you know that. For the most part, I normally don't pay for tickets. I do have my own rule. If a ticket is under $300, it used to be under $200, but now I kind of moved that to, if a ticket's around $300-ish, under, around $200 to $300 or less, I don't use my points. I let my points add up. And back in the day, it was for international travel, but we hadn't really been internationally traveling. For instance, this year, I actually used my points to buy my mother a ticket to go to Vegas, right? I think that's all I use points for in travel. Everything else I paid for with cash, just because they were minor expenses going back and forth to Miami and such, right? This time going to Cancun, my friend Gwen actually used her points and got us all a ticket. Baller. So in exchange, one day when we go on another trip, I'll turn the favor and use my points to get her a plane ticket, right? So I say that to say that I did not spend any money flying to Cancun. We're all points over here. We're all in the point world. But what I did do is when I got to the airport, I upgraded my seat. This is my strategy. When I buy a ticket online, I do not buy a seat online. I just let them pick my seat. I just be like, free. I'm not paying anything. Online, if you wanted to upgrade your seat when you're purchasing your ticket, it was like about $50, right? to upgrade, to pick your seat. And usually we're picking a seat in the, not first class, but the extended area that gives you a little more space, that whole thing, right? What I do is I get to the airport on the day of my flight. This is why you get to the airport early. And when you're checking in at the kiosk, you can then view your seats, because at that point you will see what seat did the airline assign you. And more importantly, you can see if anybody's sitting by you. So my strategy is, when I go in and I see that, and I'll be like, oh, I know I'm a person of one, these seats are occupied. Or, you know, if they put me in the middle, I don't want to be in the middle. So then I'll do my thing then, right? But what I'll do is either I'll try to move myself to another seat that looks like it doesn't have somebody in the middle, or nobody beside me at all. Or if that's not possible, I'll then upgrade my seat. And so at the airport, at the kiosk, when you're checking in, is the best time to upgrade your seat, because it's going to be the cheapest. $27 upgraded my seat versus $50 to do it when I was purchasing these tickets, and versus when you're on the flight, and then on the flight they made an announcement. If you want to upgrade your seat, you can do so for $99. Like, it just cost me $27 to upgrade my seat. Now on the flight, y'all charging $99, y'all. And the thing about that is this. I was like, thank you, flight, for making it harder for people to actually upgrade their seat to sit by me, because ain't nobody paying no $99 to upgrade a seat to sit by me. So that's my tactic. If you do it right at the kiosk when you check in, that's usually the most cost-effective time. Okay, so I pay $27 for that. Now, when I did that on the flight going there, it worked out perfectly. Nobody was by me because I picked the seat where it showed it was empty, right? So again, that's the almost the closest time to your flight that you can actually see what the real layout's going to be. If you do this when you're booking your tickets, there's plenty of time for other people to buy seats and book the flight after you, right? So there's no, you don't know what you're dealing with. Money move number 3. I signed up for, there wasn't no physical signing up, but I signed up for mentally the $100 grocery challenge. This was an awesome money move. I made a video, I'm about to say a movie. I made a video about it, sharing with y'all my thoughts behind doing this challenge. But the reason why this is making the list is because since I signed up for it mentally, it put me in the state of mind to actually be super mindful about my spending habits when it came to food, y'all. So this had me actually take some time to cook, which I'm not going to say is a good thing for me and my lifestyle. Yes, cooking is a good thing, but it takes up so much time for me, the cooking and the cleaning up behind myself after cooking, that I could actually use I can use that time making money, y'all. I'm a money maker. Food is not really important to me like that. So we're just talking about the aspects of all of this. So I don't always think that cooking is the best use of my time. Plus, it brings me nobody's joy. Some people really adore cooking. Like, they love it. They like it. That is part of their creative process. For me, it is not. But like I said, it did make me mindful. And so it kept me challenging myself about ways that I could eat and do a thing without spending money, whether that was using my rewards and reward apps. It had me using, I had $29 in cash. I was using my $29 in cash. And I'm going to say in that last week of February, y'all, I spent $31 that last week of February. $10 was spent at Starbucks because I did not plan well. I think I spent that on the day that I decided to do the challenge, but I decided to do the challenge later in the day. And then I spent like 20, whatever the difference is, 20 something dollars out of my cash money. Because out of the $29, yeah, $21. Because out of the $29, I ended up with $8 remaining. So that was a win. And I think that's a win we can all make, especially when we're on a financial journey, whether that journey be paying off of debt or saving up of emergency funds or saving up $1,000 in cash to get started, or even investing in the market and doing your 401ks and your IRAs and all of that great stuff. This is a great thing to do. If not all the time, at least from time to time, okay? Now, the next money move is the fact that I decided not to do the challenge. That's the next money move, because I think it's super important for you to analyze your decisions in your life and see what makes financial sense for you in a moment, and when is the best time for you to do a thing in a moment. And I say that because there are all these challenges going around, whether they're savings challenges, again, grocery challenges. There are lots of challenges going around, but ask yourself right now, do you really need to participate in that challenge, or is your money served elsewhere? I say that because let's say like if you sign up to do a savings challenge, do you need to save right now, or should you be doing a pay off debt challenge? Like, what challenge is best for you in this season of your life? I decided this last week in February was not the best time to do a $100 savings challenge, simply because I had every plate. Y'all know that's the meal kit I signed up for, which is super affordable, y'all. And I also had meals that were being provided to me from my job. So it just wasn't the best time. So I opted not to do it. And instead of spending $100 going to the grocery store buying things, I only spent $31. It's funny, when I turn my face from y'all, the camera be like, okay, you ain't looking at me, I'm done. Money move number 5, y'all. So I went to Cancun, and usually when you go on a trip, you buy some things because you always feel like you need something. Now I got 2 tactics for that. One, I borrow stuff from friends. I borrow clothes. They ain't wearing them, so I will borrow stuff from friends. I don't care. Y'all know how I feel about my coins. And then I will buy some things because I feel like I might need something. So I went to Walmart. Big spender over here. I went to Walmart and I purchased some things. Now, when I got back from Cancun, I actually looked at what I purchased, and I looked at what I did not use or spend or wear. And I purchased like about $41 worth of stuff, like leggings and things like that. Simple things. Leggings, some t-shirts. And so when I got back, I was looking over what I spent for Cancun, Mexico, Puerto, I forgot the name of the place I was at. Puerto Morales. So I was looking at what I spent, and then I was looking at, I go over my head, were these good decisions? Was this a good thing to spend your money on, or was there ways that you could have saved money, right? And so I realized that I hadn't worn some of the things that I purchased, and it was highly likely that I probably wasn't going to wear those things. I returned things that I wasn't going to wear. Like, for instance, and again, in my mind, it's like, because I bought some little tank tops that were $2.88 a piece. And it was like, do I really need to return that? I mean, it's only $2.88. But I was like, yes, I need to return that because it was $2.88. And $2.88, clearly, Walmart is $1 billion company, because they have a bunch of things priced like this that a bunch of us go out and buy. So I'm going to go and get my money back and put it back into myself, right? So I returned $14 worth of things, like 3 of those tank tops and a pair of leggings. $14 back into my life that I could do something else with. I love it. The next money move I did, because it was the end of the month, I cut off my budget. I cut off my spending. That way I was able to finalize my numbers, see what I had, and also strategically and be mindful about how I was going to spend that last week. So when I cut off my budget, I thought through what I wanted to do, what I needed to do, so that I can give myself enough money in my budget to actually accomplish those things. And the only thing I really wanted to do / needed to do was wash the car. So I gave myself $8 for a car rinse. Because of all of this salt and the snow and everything, I need to do it again, y'all, because, all this stuff gets on this car and just sticks there. And then I knew I had the $29 at the time to buy some more food if needed, outside of what I could do with my every plate boxes and outside what I could do with whatever my job was feeding me. And so that was my next money move. Cut off my money so that I can finalize my numbers and stop my spending. The final money move, again, because it's the end of the month, the final money move is what I did with my money since everything was said and done. And this is how it goes. $680 went to gifts, and some of those gifts are in the support of other people's YouTube channels. $1,740 went to retirement accounts. Now that doesn't include the $12,000 that I moved to fund one IRA for 2 years. Last year's contributions and this year's contributions. We did that last week, guys. So that is dope. But then in addition to that, we did another $1,740, and that was to my 401k and HSA, which will also be maxed out this year, both of them. I moved $1,954 to savings. It's such an odd number because every dollar matters. I make a strategic plan with every single dollar, even if it's an odd dollar. I don't say, 54, well, let's just kind of keep $4, and in that way it could be 50. We send every single dollar. So $1,954 was moved to saving accounts. And the last thing was I was able to send an extra $2,550 to my mortgage because it is one of my long-term goals to pay off this house sooner rather than later. So when I look at my money at the end of the month, everything that I don't spend, that I keep, I get to apply to my wealth building strategies. That was my money moves for this week. And look at how the sun is doing us, y'all. But that was my money moves. Talk to me in the comments below. What were your money moves for the week? At least one, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe if you want to be over here in this accountability community. And I will see you all in the next video. Until then, y'all. Peace. Oh, peace, because if any of y'all follow me on the other channel, you see I had a video come out where we're driving through Providence, Rhode Island. I'm going through memory lane, telling y'all all about all the times I got in fights, beat up, jumped, all before the age of 5.